Okay, so going around to the left here. See, we'll see where you're going with this. Okay, I see what you did. So you let the enemy team get onto the point and try to take position at the top of the stairs, so you could hop into their back line, which was a good thought. I like that. I've not seen that before, but I haven't really watched very much Winston. So that's a good thought. 'Cause that's what Winston's supposed to do, is get into the back line. You put down your shield immediately, with sort of blocked the Junkrat from doing much, and you had your jump ready to get out. Yeah. Now it's good that you're playing with a Zenyatta, because when Zenyatta puts Discord Orb on any target, even tanks, Winston can just do so much more to them. So that's really good that you have that on your team. And yeah, that just looked like an easy first point cap. Okay, so that McCree is up there on the high ground, and looking at your team comp. Okay, 137. Looking at your team comp, you don't have a lot of people that can get up there to contest him. He could just use line of sight easily. Doomfist is the only exception that I can think of. Okay, so yeah, you can get up there. Yeah. Don't know what the stat of his flashbang was, but you might want to have used your bubble just to be safe when you get up there, so he can't flashbang you, because that'll be his first thought. And if he gets you in a flashbang, he can use his fan the hammer and just do crazy amounts of damage to you. That bubble right there, I mean, that's protecting you from Junkrat in case he turns on you, and if there's anybody coming from the enemy spawn. It also is in a good spot to protect your team from any long range shots. So that bubble's okay right there. Yeah, with the Discorded D.Va, you want to follow her, but yeah, she lost the Discord. She got behind her tank, so that was a good fallback right there. You got the Reinhardt coming up on this side, and since you can shoot through those barriers, if you ever have a Reinhardt that's just using his shield to make a slow and steady push with his team behind him, that's a good time to just put your bubble down and just stay inside it and use that to zap him, to sort of do some damage. So if he keeps his shield up, he can't do much about it. And yeah, your team wiped out his backline, and then he didn't have much to follow with. Now McCree is still up there. So yeah, jump in. He goes around the corner. Bubble. Yeah, the bubble would have prevented that. Would have really prevented that. When you jump in on somebody like that, to try to 1v1 them. Bubble's a good opener, because then you can stay inside. If they try to move inside it, you can move out of it, do the bubble dance, as they say. But yeah, bubble would have prevented that flashbang. If he had that, yeah, there went the bubble. But by the time you got it down, he was already on the run. It's a good thing he did not follow up that flashbang, because he could have really wrecked you. So here you got the Reinhardt pushing up to the front. He just got people behind him. So this is where bubble use is definitely off there. Okay, yeah. We'll see. But this is right here. You've got the Reinhardt just making that slow, steady push with his shield. This is when you make the space for your team, or you prevent him from making space for his, by moving up to him, get close to him, put your own bubble down, and start zapping him. That way, he either has to retreat, continue and take damage, or put his shield down and swing. Either way, you have the advantage in this situation, because you can pretty much dictate his choices. You can limit what he can do. Okay, I guess charging in is the other option I did not think about. But he doesn't have a shield up. You've still got your Zenyatta putting Discord on the tanks. That's really good play by your Zenyatta. That really helps out Winston, is when the Zenyatta can put Discord down on the appropriate targets. Oh yeah, good chase down right there. Okay, and I know what your thought process is with this bubble. The McCree has been up here the entire time. You hear the high noon. You don't know exactly where he is, and he could set that off really quickly. So that bubble right there does protect you from him. So that's good instincts. It's better to know where he is and see if you can shield your team from any bubbles. You do have the jump available, so you could jump to somebody before bubbling. You might have that amount of time. But I understand the thought process behind this bubble right here. Good job staying on the point. Oh, yeah, you want to get back up on the point if you can. Yeah, okay, so you want to stay on the point right there, because the point is your team's. Even if you die, if you can keep that point in your name for just a couple more seconds, that might give your team, like somebody else on your team, time to come up and keep contesting it. Because really, it's not about winning, like about wiping them off the point or winning the team fights right now. It's about making sure the point stays in your name as long as possible. Because if you're up there contesting it, that's time that your team is gaining points, gaining percentage. So if you were to fall back and regroup, your enemies will get the point. As long as the point is in your name, it is worth it to keep trickling in, keep throwing yourself in there, keep dying, and keep it contested. That way, the points keep ticking up for you. It might have even been worth it to jump in there, and if you get low on health, burn your ult just to keep those points ticking up, and that ult might have given your team time to get in there. And I understand your health was low and everything, but you had the ult ready. I mean, I'd say it would have been worth it to do that. Now putting the shield in that corner was sort of preemptive, and when the shield is put down preemptively, people can avoid it, and you're really not going to get as much attention on it. That'll basically put the shield down. It tells people, I'll just pick another target until that shield goes down. Then they can focus you down without worrying about it. If you put it down after you've taken a little bit of damage, then hang on, and I know this is contradicting what I said before about dropping your shield early in the McCree engagement. That's because that was a 1v1. When there are other teammates in the fight, if you take some damage or a teammate takes some damage, that's when you put the bubble down, so that if you get healed before it goes down, then the enemies have wasted their shots. But if you put it down at the beginning of a team fight, they're just gonna go, okay, we'll switch targets for now then, and that doesn't really do what you want it to do. So it would have been good to start that engagement, move closer, get in their face, get their attention, and then once you start taking damage, put the bubble down and do the bubble dance. Okay, now the nano boost is really good. You do want to take out the Mercy. Now, that would have, one thing I've noticed, you haven't been doing a lot of melee. You've done it a little bit, but you get a better damage over time, and your ammo lasts longer if you're alternating your Tesla cannon with your melee, just like that does that melee, that does that melee, that does that melee. Because melee does 50 damage, which is pretty significant. And that'll make your ammo stretch out longer. You might not have had to reload even to take out this Mercy right here, because Tesla cannon does go down pretty quickly. But yeah, if you were using melee against that Diva and then against the Mercy, that one Tesla cannon probably would have lasted the entire time. You wouldn't have had to reload. You still got them, and that's good of you to chase down the low health enemy and finish him off. Now you've got the enemy Winston over there. You've got teammates on him. Yeah, good job of good thought to jump down there and help them out. You haven't had to use your ult yet. It probably would have been useful to use it to contest that point the first time, but you guys got it back. That's in the past. You've still got your ult. Yeah, using your ult is great for keeping people off the point or for contesting the point yourself. Okay, and yeah, follow the Discord target. Basically, is going to be the name of the game with Winston. If there's a target discorded, you're okay. You've also got the ulting Mercy. I've mentioned this a couple times in other reviews. Ulting Mercy, people usually see as a high priority target because if you can take her down, you've wasted her ult. But it's very hard to do. It is very difficult to kill Mercy when she's ulting. So best thing to do with that is to keep focusing the other targets. Keep going after the people that she's trying to heal. Especially if you have a Zenyatta that's putting Discord on people. Mercy's not going to be able to keep up with the damage that's going into them. So let's see. Okay, so yeah, you didn't chase Mercy too badly. It looks like quality dropped a little bit. That might have been my fault. That might be my system doing that. But yeah, see, Mercy cannot stop you from wrecking house. Good job of switching sides on that bubble. And yeah, you want to. Oh, you got trapped, but you do want to chase him down. Since it's in overtime, this is as good a time as any to hit that ult. Try to keep people off the point. Yeah, good job.
Good round.
Good job. Yeah, the bubble usage could use a little work. It's very circumstantial though on when is a good time to use it, when's not. In general, you want to either put it on enemies to keep them from shooting out at your team and then jump away, you either want to move into enemies, put it down to keep them from shooting out of it, and then when you get low on health, jump away. Or if you're jumping in, if you jump into the enemies, that's first of all very risky endeavor because you don't really have much of an escape. You can wait till if you're in the beginning of a team fight, you wait until people have taken damage on your team or you've taken damage, and then bubble on your team before moving in. You don't want to engage with a jump because you want to make sure you have that to escape if you need it. It's on a short cooldown, but if you're jumping in and there's not going to be any follow-up from your team, you can go down really quickly, especially if they have a Reaper or if they have a Zenyatta or something like that. And yeah, the ult is worth it to use to keep the point in your name. And you definitely want to stay on the point to keep it contested as long as you can. That's more important than grouping up for the next team fight or staying alive. These are the cases where it is okay to get yourself killed to hold the point. Yeah, in payload and the capture points, it's not worth it to die just for the objective because the enemy can contest it. But when this thing up here is blue, when it's in your name, that's when it's worth it to stay in there no matter what. Ooh, okay, so yeah, you jumped in, and used your bubble. You don't really have that jump to get out now. So yeah, you got some hits, and then it took you a lot of like running and just regular jumping in place to get out of there. It would have been good to just walk up on foot, do your damage, put down your shield, and then use your jump to escape. All right, so now the Winston's in your back line. Yeah, zap punch, zap punch, zap punch. That'll make your Tesla cannon last longer, and it'll also do more damage to him. You didn't need to put your bubble down right there. You have no other enemies engaging you, and even if that Winston did turn around to attack you, his Tesla cannon's going to go through your bubble. The Tesla cannon just ignores bubble. Basically, Winston doesn't care about shields. He just totally ignores shields. I don't think there is anything Winston can do. I don't think any of his abilities care about shields. To Winston, shields don't even exist. So you don't need to put down your own shields against an enemy Winston, because he'll just zap you through him. And yeah, it would have been good to have the shield right here to dance against that Roadhog. That would have been a good opportunity to put your shield down to fight him, prevent him from hooking any of your guys, make him back up basically, and that would give your team some space. Yeah, dropping bubble on Winston is a bad habit. Yeah, and it wouldn't be so bad if it was a shorter cooldown, but the bubble has such a long cooldown that you really have to time it and choose when to use it carefully. It's just like D.Va with her defense matrix. You really have to pick and choose where it goes. Yeah, and especially against Roadhog, because Roadhog is going to do a lot of damage to you. He's got a spread shot, and spread shot really hurts tanks. Yeah, and again, that bubble's not going to help you much against their Winston. Would have been good to wait till you were a little lower on health from other people engaging, then put it down. Yeah, good job finishing off that Pharah. Yeah, that was an okay time to get it. That would give your team some time to move in before that Roadhog could really do anything against you. So that was okay. And even if he had gotten you off the edge, you had your jump available for it. So yeah, good capture, good take. Yeah, and again, going into Winston. You don't need to drop your bubble against him. And now that he has dropped his bubble, yeah, you could take him out that way. Oh, you want? Yeah, and punching might have allowed you to take out that Junkrat. Oh, you jumped onto his. Oh no! Oh man, you took out the Junkrat, and then said, "Hey, these look comfortable," and jumped right on his grenades. Oh no! Oh, oh, you even called yourself out on it. So yeah, you know. That's all right. Hey, I've done it before too. It's fine. You guys still have the point. You're gonna get back into the fight before anything bad happens. So we were getting tilted at that point. I mean, you guys were winning. There's really no reason to get tilted. I hear the Roadhog. Okay. Yeah, this is where it might have been a good time to hit your ult, try to knock the Roadhog off of it. Yeah. And your team should have been there to try to hold the point, but because they weren't, that's another instance where it would have been a good idea to use your ult just to contest the point. You might have been able to get the knockback and knock the Roadhog off. But yeah, at this point you don't want to use your ult. You're only at 10 health. Oh no, that was a good thought. But I see what went wrong is you tried to do it straight up. It would have been better to go at it a little bit at an angle, maybe get into one corner and aim for the opposite side. But yeah, going straight up is difficult with Winston because he like automatically arcs forward a little bit with his jump. So that was gonna cause you some difficulties. Oh no! Oh no! Oh, yep, there it went. Dang.
Yeah, there was no ice riding that.
That was gonna happen. Oh, she got your McCree. Okay. Alright, so you guys are really only going to get one more team fight out of this.
I have my ult.
So yeah, it's good to group up. And this is where it would have been good to go through the cubby. Whoops, I'm sorry, wrong place. Yeah, that was it. Okay, yeah, it would have been good to go through the cubby on the right, dropping down with your team there. Just 'cause you could have put your shield down to defend your team. You could have then used your ult to like push out from there and hopefully get a couple knockoffs. But yeah, your team opted to go this way, which I mean makes sense. Okay, now you've got the Zenyatta. One thing to note that I did not know until recently: when the enemy has a shield up, that will block your Zenyatta's heals from getting to you. If there is an enemy bubble, that blocks Zenyatta's transcendence. It's considered a block for line of sight. Okay, and now's a good time to hit your ult, try to get a couple people knocked off the edge. Oh, they have a Bastion. Good job of focusing down him. Yeah, keep this guy in the cubby.
Wow.
Yeah, good job. And you got trapped again. Alright. Alright, at least you didn't jump on his grenades that time. This is where you need to get your healers in there to top you off. Or yeah, go for a health pack. Good. Yeah, really, there's a really good video that I saw linked from Overwatch University where somebody gives a tip for playing Winston against every hero. And one of them is Zenyatta. If there's a Zenyatta in play and uses his Transcendence, if you put down your barrier, it'll block his heals. It doesn't count as line of sight for the purpose of his heals.
That's better.
And okay, so you did see that they had a Bastion. So Winston is not going to last long against Bastion. It's sort of a tough situation because you haven't died yet to it. But if you do, you're not really going to have time to get into the next team fight. So probably the best move is going to be to just play it out, survive as long as you can, use your line of sight as much as you can. But Winston into Bastion just doesn't work. Bastion will, like, even if you put down a shield and you're at full health, Bastion can melt you from full to zero. he can take down your shield, take down all your health in 2 seconds flat. So, yeah, Winston is not really good into Bastion, but you don't really have much choice at this point, just because the comp is set. This is where it is. Okay, so now I'd say maybe switch. Yeah, when they have Bastion, you do want to switch, but you didn't really have much opportunity, because the first time you noticed it, you killed him right away. And then if you had run back to switch, that would have been a big waste of time that you wouldn't have been there. So what you should expect, though, is they're going to continue on the Bastion and switch off for this point. Probably could have switched off to like D.Va, or whatever else is good for you. Like I was saying earlier, don't play a hero that goes well with the comp if they do. Yeah, I'd say don't play a hero that goes well with the comp if you don't know how to play that hero. So some good options into Bastion are Sombra, Symmetra even. Symmetra is actually decent against Bastion. Tank wise, you got Zarya, you've got D.Va. But yeah, Roadhog, Winston, Reinhardt, and Orisa are not good into Bastion just because he will melt them. Genji is good into Bastion. So is Tracer. Anybody that can make use of line of sight. But in general, against Bastion, you just want to line of sight him. Use barriers, not the shield barriers that you have, but physical barriers that he cannot shoot through. He cannot damage. Because if he cannot see you, he can't hurt you, and you can then engage the rest of the team from those safe zones, and Bastion's effectively rendered useless.
3, 2, 1.
And that's really what you want. If there's an enemy Bastion, you don't want him to be able to participate in the fight. Whether that means killing him or avoiding him, you just don't want him there. But yeah, if they're still running Bastion, you're not going to be able to get a whole lot done as Winston. Okay, so there he is. Okay, he put up his sentry. That's a good time to avoid the line of sight. Hey, they just killed your Doomfist. Yeah, just avoid the line of sight. Go for the rest of the team. Put down bubble right there, just because Roadhog will melt you otherwise. Yeah, but between Roadhog and Bastion, you got a lot of counters there. There was a glimpse at the there we go. So yeah, you got Roadhog, you got Bastion, and those two will just make your life like really hard for this point. So and your Roadhog could have stood to switch off as well, unless he can maintain that line of sight from Bastion. So yeah, your team needs to group up here. Yeah, your McCree switched to D.Va. Then switch to Tracer. Tracer's also good. Yeah, your Roadhog switched to Mei. So yeah, your team's making some good swaps off, just because that Bastion's not going to be easy to play against. And yeah, there you go. So with this, where he is, it is possible to engage the rest of the team. Maybe not for you, but for the rest, like for the ranged characters on your team, it is possible for them to engage the rest of the enemy team from around that corner without going into Bastion's line of sight. So that'll allow you to basically makes it a 5v6. You take out a couple of them, and then you dogpile on the Bastion when you've got him outnumbered, and he can't take you all out. So yeah, you're doing this right, moving to where Bastion can't see you. This is a good time to put your shield around that Mei, because she got hooked into there and then ice walled up. So that would have been good to just move in a little ways, put your shield down. Just as her ice block is wearing off, because they're getting ready to focus her down. Mei doesn't get focused nearly as much as I wish she would, but she's a high priority target when she's by herself and iced up. Mei works best in a 1v1 situation. She can't take a whole team by herself, or even a 1v2 she cannot do. It would have been good to put your shield down to protect her. Now the enemy Bastion is down. At this point, yeah, use your personal shield against that Roadhog. Keep him on the other side of it from you. Keep yourself alive. Yeah. And you want to try to keep their Bastion from getting back in there. So even if that means crossing over to the other side of this, you want to keep the Bastion from getting back over to the point and getting set up again. You really don't want to let him do that. Good jump to get away from that. Your Mei wasn't so lucky, but that was a good thought. Soldier will also do a lot of damage to tanks. Anybody he can get sustained fire on, he can do a lot of damage to. But yeah, you can jump on him. You can get the bubble down. You can just zap him down. Okay, yeah, looks like your team's taking it. That's good. You've got your ult ready. Even with your ult, though, Bastion's still going to be able to kill you quickly. Good thought to bubble when you had that Roadhog thinking about hooking. Yep, there's a good time to ult to keep them off the point and try to take it. Somebody's on the point, though. Somebody was contesting it that whole time. I don't know who it was, but that was a good thought to ult right there. Just try to get him off the point, but I think somebody was behind you. Yeah. So I don't think they have the Bastion anymore. Who did they switch off Bastion for? Looks like they switched him to Soldier. They just want, dang it! Trying to freeze it on the right frame here. There we go. So yeah, they did switch off the Bastion. Looks like they switched to Soldier. Roadhog's still going to be countering you pretty hard there, so I mean, it still would have been worth it to switch to something else. Because Winston doesn't do too well against tanks, and I don't even think you have the Zenyatta anymore on your team, which was really helping you out in the on that first point. Yeah, so what was the team balance like right there? I don't know when your Zenyatta swapped off, but Zenyatta is a really good pairing with Winston. Really helps him to actually do stuff and do his job. Even if it's against tanks, having Discord on tanks really makes Winston really useful. So, yeah, between your Zenyatta switching off, having that Bastion for the first bit, and then playing into Roadhog, and then Soldier, yeah, it would have been good to switch off Winston for that third point to another tank that you can play well. But yeah, it just wasn't working out on that at the end of the second point. So yeah, a swap would have been in order. Beyond that, wasn't a whole lot you can do. The Zenyatta was really useful. It's a really good pairing. Zenyatta was really useful on that first point. So yeah. So yeah, figuring out when to use that bubble and breaking that habit of just using it instinctively is a good thing to do.